Hey, welcome back, everybody. Time to once again meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station with our community, what do we call them here? Our community conversationalists here. You know everybody.
Mr. OC, that's right.
But today we're not talking Hispanic. It's a little Italiano, it sounds like to me here today.
A little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Paisano.
Welcome, everybody, to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, John Gutierrez, Senior Vice President here. And today we have another special guest with us. His name is Mr. Ismael Vicente, who is a U.S. Marine veteran. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Loved it.
An entrepreneur, many different businesses, a business coach, and he's also one of the owners at the famous OC Pizza right here in Orange County, Johnny's the Bronx Pizza. Very famous Johnny's the Bronx Pizza on PCH. Welcome, Ish.
Thank you so much for having me here, John. It's a pleasure.
Yes, yes. And so, as Mr. Paul Roberts was saying here, we're going to be talking a little bit about this delicious pizza that I've had the fortune to have it. And first and foremost, thank you so much for donating tons of pizza, tons of food at our recent Viva la Cultura event.
Absolutely. Which
was celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
So how do you get Italian pizza from the Bronx into a Hispanic culture event? It seems like a contrast in cultures here.
It's all cultural.
It's a collision.
Yes.
Yeah. It's selling like they say, sell me the pen. I'll sell you the pen.
Well, you know what? I want to say that food is a common denominator, right?
Correct.
In everything we do in business. And I'm pretty sure as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you've probably closed many deals.
Yes, absolutely.
Over food, maybe at your, but we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into all the business stuff. I want you to share with our listeners and our viewers, share with them a little bit about yourself. We always like to get to know our special guest. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, your family, and really how you got to this point in your life.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, thank everybody for listening in and watching, and John for having here on this podcast. And I was born in Puerto Rico in a hospital in Santurce. My parents, my dad is from Calle, my mom is from Ponce, and my dad came over to New York.
Sorry. There you go.
Now it sounds better.
Yes. I want them to hear your story, man. Come on now.
I got you.
Yes.
So my parents, they immigrated to New York, and there I am. They brought me to the South Bronx. We started living in Hunts Point. If everybody knows and familiar with the Bronx, is Hunts Point back in the day was not the Hunts Point that it is now. From there, we moved to Longwood, and then from there now is Simpson, where it's the 2 and the 5 and the 6 train. Once again, I
see. John doesn't know. You don't identify by what street, maybe streets, but what train runs through there? What train? What?
Is that how it is in New York?
Yeah, in New York, it's the train. You say the street, but you got to say the train because the train is
everybody gets around.
Buses. Yeah.
People never have a car their whole life in New York. They travel.
It was train and bus to school, to high school. Unless my mom took me, but if not, it would be the bus to or the train.
So, as a young man growing up in these buses, are you constantly like paying for them, or is this something included in your school stuff? Or
some of the schools they gave you can say it was a bus pass.
Okay.
And that bus pass, it was a token to go and a token to come back, or if you had like a connection bus, you would stop and connect. So that's how we got around. And also on the weekends it would be the token, but if not, we'll have a school bus and that have a certain amount of money that the school would obligate.
I'm asking these questions for all those viewers and listeners that are watching. I've never been to New York myself. And so it's very interesting to learn from somebody like yourself who's in California now.
Yes.
Who's an entrepreneur. But I know earlier you and I were talking off the air, and there's a lot of things that you learned growing up in New York that are helping you now today. What would you say New York helped you prepare for yourself now as an adult? I mean, now that you look back.
I think New York, I can say it's the streets. Everybody says it's the hustle of the streets, the street smart, I think is the biggest thing. It taught me how to talk, for one, and two, not to be afraid of people saying no. It's just, okay, that's a no, go on to the next. Someone's going to say yes, and that yes, it can take it to a higher level. You know, loyalty was big in New York. You know, a handshake, like they say, word is bond. That was a handshake in the Bronx. You say, you know, you shake someone's hand, you make it happen.
That's very good to hear, because we consider that old school, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know that today, you know, people are still honoring a handshake. But I know that today, you as a businessman, we've talked several times, and you're big on contracts, right? And all the things that you're doing. Growing up in New York, you mentioned earlier to me that there are certain things that you learn at a young age, how to be a good salesman, right?
Yes.
Is that part of that hustle that you're talking about?
It was. I have my my brother-in-law at that time had a business, and we sold cell phones, and this is gonna probably tell my age or someone's age, but I used to sell pagers, beepers.
For those of you that don't know what that is, the new generation, there are these little things that you carry in the side. Most doctors,
I think they still have it.
They still carry them,
absolutely.
I think, because it's just an easy, fast way, and it's very reliable, right?
It is.
Because I don't think like Wi-Fi phones can drop, right? Like,
right. I think
but
that's a
beepers
straight
are like
message.
straight message, right?
Correct.
Like emergency, go to the ER. Somebody's very, sick, and so you were out.
So I was the guy selling the pager service, or if not, changing the box, or the battery that broke in the bottom, cell phones that had the lights. When the new Nextel came out, which it was the 550i, that was the yellow brick. I mean, it was famous back in the day.
He remembers all this.
You know, because this was embedded for me, embedded to me when I was little to sell. So I had to learn my pitch. And I think that's it was the street smart. It was learning what what you're going to sell, and make it happen no matter what.
It's funny, earlier when he was on the show here, we were just talking off the air, and he mentioned how to sell the pin, right? And it's that movie, right?
Yep.
What is it?
Belfer, it's
right?
Wolf on Wall Street.
Yes, Wolf on Wall Street, right? And how to sell the pin. And recently they asked the real person of this movie, not DiCaprio, who's the actor,
right,
in person, to share the story about the pin, right? How to sell the pin. And I have my version, which is the same version he explained. And that's what makes a good salesman, right? And what would you say made you back then, or today even, a good salesperson? For those that are listening, a lot of our youth chamber watches our show. What would you say makes a good salesperson?
It's building the connection with the person. Don't look it as a number or just the next money sign. Build a connection with that person. Know what the needs are of that person or service, and connect. Make that conversation, that connection. We call it in today's world the vibes. You have to have the vibes in order to be successful. And I think that was the whole thing behind the pen, is knowing the person. What are their needs, not the actual pen.
Yes.
That's what Jordan said on his YouTube video. It said, everybody thinks you just got to immediately start talking about the value of the pen.
Who said that?
Jordan Belfer, the guy.
Okay,
guy.
yeah.
And he said, no, the whole thing is you start asking questions.
Well,
why do you want a pen? What do you use a pen for? How do you need a pen? Why do you want a pen?
Yes.
What kind of pen do you want? And then you explain, well, this is perfect. This is exactly what you're looking for.
And that's important for everybody listening or watching that is going to be in sales. If you own a business, guys, you're selling. I mean, there's no way you're an entrepreneur and you own a business and you're not selling. Whatever it is, whether it's pizzas you're selling.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
I think it goes in every aspect of any business.
Mm-hmm.
Just take out the transaction aspect of it and morally work for that person. And once again, you'll build a bond. It's a long-term bond, because that person will come back to you not only for that, for anything else. And we live in a world where people are multitask now. So
yeah, one of my mentors once said to me, and I remember going into the sales world, and I'll never forget this. He said, "You're not a salesman. Don't ever forget this." He said, "You're a problem solver." And when he said that line to me, it really changed my perspective and everything I was doing, because to your point, it's about being a good listener, asking the right questions, identifying their needs, which
Correct.
you just said.
Yes.
Identifying those challenges. And so that's awesome that at a young age you were learning this in New York.
15. I remember
15.
My brother-in-law and my sister were my mentors at that time.
Do you remember when you first made that first, I don't know, transaction of money? You sold a beeper, whatever it is. What was that feeling like?
Of success,
Yes.
going back to my brother-in-law and my sister and saying, "Hey, look, I got a sale." Although it was very little. I mean, back in the day, what was the hourly wage? $5.15, $6. I mean, I was excited just for that, and whatever commission I was going to get off of that service, it would be $12 that I believe I used to get per activation of the pager's service, because it used to be a service. It used to be 3 months, 6 months, and a year.
How did you end up deciding to go and become a Marine? I know you mentioned that. It's somebody that spoke to you about that at some point when you're a little older, right?
Yeah, so I have, it's funny, my elementary book, my yearbook, it says, what do you want to be when, as you grow up? And I have United States Marine. Let's go into high school. I totally forgot about that. And 9/11, I was actually in class when it happened. I can see it from the smoke, I can see the smoke.
You were
from
in high
across.
school.
I was in high school. I was, I believe, a junior.
Oh, wow.
When it actually happened, and we were in math class, top deck. We looked out the window, we looked at the news, and we seen what was happening, and that was total nightmare. Everything shut
in your
down.
backyard, literally.
Yeah, I mean, we can see it across.
Wow.
And you can see the smoke, and it was a panic mode. And at that time, something told me I had to, defend, go out there and do something and serve
Did you
this
feel
country.
like a fire in you?
I did. And it was funny because it wasn't about money. It wasn't about, you don't go into the Marines thinking about you're going to make a fortune. You go in to support, defend the Constitution, and you have something greater than yourself. So it's that brotherhood, that sisterhood, out there. And that's what made me join. I went to the recruiter. I was actually going to go in the Army because I totally forgot about the Marines. And then as soon as I was going up the stairs, Sergeant Hernandez, hey, have you ever thought about the Marines? And I said, no. He said, you want to be best of the best? And I said, well, let's go. And 2 months after that, a couple of months after that, I shipped to boot camp, senior year.
Wow. And where was this?
This was in October of 2002.
In the East Coast?
In the East Coast, yes.
Okay.
So I went to Paris Island.
Wow.
Lovely Paris Island, by the way.
We won't go into all that.
No.
We're not allowed to.
No.
But I will say, our friend Sal, which you met from
Yes.
Kroger, who's also a Marine, was at your restaurant recently. And shortly after that, he actually invited me to the graduation of the Marines here in San Diego.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was really nice to see
Yes.
that whole experience and be there and see the families and obviously see all the hard work that they've put in and pay off.
The uniformity.
Yeah,
you know, all that, when
Do you
go
remember
in-
that day?
Absolutely. I remember every single month. I think every day in boot camp, from, get off of my bus to the yellow footprints to then breaking it down and saying, why did I do this?
Really?
Yes. But then after that, it gets easier because your body understands and your mind, you build your mind up. Once you step out in that, graduation deck, it's all there, man. All that hard work, you break down in tears because you earned that Globin anchor. It's earned, it's not given.
Yeah.
And that's the best feeling ever.
So as soon as you were done there, how long after that? I mean, I know you left, right?
Yes. So I did. I served after this. I jumped around different stations, and then I served in Iraq, in Fallujah, and then I served in Afghanistan, Kabul. But you can say all the.
And what did you do in the service?
So in the service, I was a paralegal. So it's a 4421.
Okay.
So I began as a clerk of court with the court marshals most of my life, and then there I deployed and did detainee operations and worked at the higher echelon of the Marine Corps when we're deployed.
Wow.
And that's the same job I did in Afghanistan.
And let me just be very clear, guys. Not only do we want to thank Ish for being obviously a veteran. It was just Veterans Day a couple of days ago. Thank you for your service, and not only that, but all of you that are out there that have served our country. In honor of this week of Veterans, week or weekend that just passed. Thank you for your service because, we definitely appreciate all the sacrifice.
Absolutely.
It's so important that we take note of that. As you all know, I own a healthcare company, a hospice company, and my wife and we've been in healthcare 20-some years, and we work with a lot of veterans and in hospice. And one of the most toughest things at the end of your life when you're sick and dying, right, is that veterans go through a really tough emotional situation because they may have been in war and they may have killed somebody.
Right.
And now they're obviously at the end of their road, and they're going through this, where am I going to go next? What's going to happen to me?
Right.
So we have this thing where we have other veterans volunteer
That's awesome.
and come and be at their bedside at the end of their life, because we feel that veterans and veterans can obviously see eye to eye.
Correct.
You know, someone like me can't sit at their bedside, or one of our other volunteers, and say, hey, I know what you're going through. No, you don't. I don't know what you're going
Right.
through. So we have other veterans that come and volunteer, and
That's
we
awesome.
find that that's something that just really works, you know. So again, thank you all for your service. Thank you. And
Appreciate it, John.
so when you're in, obviously in the military, what do you feel that you learned the most being there those years?
For one, brotherhood, and for two is it's bigger than yourself.
Okay.
It's having that person to the left or right of you. Know that the mission will get done even if you have your eyes closed. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a saying, people in the military, they sacrifice their lives for someone. And sometimes when you get out, people sacrifice someone for their own benefits. So in the military, we don't think of ourselves. We think as a team. We're together, and if not, we fail. And that's the concept and the mindset that I have when I get out. I like to work with people and build that camaraderie. And that's why I'm successful in a lot of businesses, because it's not about it's about we. You know, let's build it together. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I learned in the military, plus discipline, a lot of mental discipline, because you have ups and downs. Nothing's perfect. You have wins and you have falls, but you have to count. The best time that counts is at your falls. That's when your mental, capacity takes over, and you can do with anything.
I love that you say that, because many times we've been on this show and we talk about our Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and why people join and all that. And people often ask me why I joined, right? Why I became part of this organization. And I tell them, I say, you know, I was a business owner, an entrepreneur like you are.
Yes.
I said, and I felt that I wanted to be around other mentors that could
Correct.
mentor me. So I wanted to be around a team of, like you're saying, right?
Correct.
Leaders, business owners, whatever, you know, you want to call it, right? I wanted to be around that team of business leaders. And
Correct.
so I was so excited to have you,
Thank you.
join our chamber and be part of our team, you know, and us be part of your team, hopefully, you know,
Absolutely.
because it's all about collaboration, right?
Correct.
It's
Correct.
all about supporting each other.
And that's what I saw with this Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, because there's many chambers out there.
Yeah, there's many city chambers,
And
of course.
they do great jobs.
Yeah.
But, you know, once again, it's that vibe, it's the connection. It's all about connection, and I feel that this chamber is not about them. It's about everyone.
Yes, sir.
And even yourself, you know, you have connected me with multiple people. In less than a week, my phone was blowing up. And you were like, look, Ish, this, that, an event. Come over here. I was being dragged everywhere.
They don't call me Mr. OC for nothing. Come
No,
on now, Ish.
it's-
You know?
I wasn't prepared for that, let me tell you.
Yes, Paul.
So I'm missing one part of the story. How do you get from Fallujah or wherever you were in Iraq and places like that to owning an Italiano,
We're getting there.
the Bronx
Paul,
pizza?
Paul, we
thing?
got 10 minutes.
Oh
We're
my
getting there.
goodness!
We're-
At this
you know,
pace, it'll be in 2 hours. Here.
Paul has no patience, you know?
I want to get to the pizza.
I-
He wants to get to the good part.
He
That's what it
wants to
is.
get out of here and go eat over there
That's what it
afterwards,
is.
you know?
That's what it is.
And real quick, so everybody who's watching, again, Johnny's Bronx Pizza.
Yep.
It's off of PCH.
Right, Coronel
in
Del Mar.
Coronel Del Mar. And by the way, guys, I mean, this pizza is phenomenal. And
Because it's New York. There's only 3 styles of pizzas: New York style, Chicago style, and sort of a Detroit style.
Yes.
Where I came up.
Correct.
But those are the big 3 pizza stuff. What is Italian stuff for those? I picture it as thinner.
man, Paul's just taking hostage my show.
Because this is serious
It
stuff.
is.
Pizza is serious.
This is serious. He takes it serious. So yeah, it's mostly, you know, to answer your question, it's really in the crust, the cheese, and of course the water where you make your dough. I mean,
Yes.
it's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. And you have, you know, there's differences and arguments, but with what's the difference of Queens, Brooklyn, although Brooklyn doesn't like Bronx, has always been like that. But
Yes.
you know, it's all about the crust. Really, it's, you know, no flop. It's not burnt in the bottom. The crust is thin and it has that nice salty taste.
And not soggy.
Aren't
and
you
not
guys
soggy.
all getting so hungry for
Oh,
Johnny's
man.
Bronx Pizza right now?
I'm telling you, Italian pizza is the best.
But
from
you
the-
know
from
what?
the
I
Bronx.
got to tell you guys, the other thing about where your Johnny's Bronx Pizza is, it's such a great location. You literally can grab a pizza, walk across the street to the beach.
So yeah, that's
Right?
that.
You can't beat that.
We can even deliver it to the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No.
So we're at the beach. You'll
Yeah.
bring it out to us.
Call us. We'll go out and meet you right on the sand.
Can you believe that?
And bring out even your slice, even your pie. And that's the great thing about our pizza place. It's like New York. We have slices all day.
No way.
Yeah, you can pick up a slice at 9 o'clock at night right before we close.
Really?
So
I got to tell you
New
one
York.
story. Last time I was in New York was quite a number of years ago, but I got off. I took my family there because I thought they should see it. And so I get off. We get into Manhattan. This is not the Bronx anymore. You get into the city, the
Yes.
island there. And it's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the morning. There are a million people out. There's pizza by the slice everywhere.
Yep.
People are eating like it's the middle of the day.
Paul's
and
telling
hustling
a
around.
great story of New York.
That's awesome.
That's New York, 24/7, man. It
Well-
just goes.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's also about the people that work there, and I've been there. The few times that I've been there, just an amazing group of guys that are working there. So shout outs to
And that's why, yeah, absolutely. I was going to give a shout out because, once again, it's not about I.
Yeah.
I have a big team behind me, and my business partner, Jason, he does a phenomenal job
Great
in
guy.
operations.
Shout out to you,
amazing.
Jason.
Shout out, Jason. And also to my team. I mean, the cooks in the back. I mean, I have about 17 employees.
Yeah.
They all do their job. We're just a part of a team. It makes it New York. You come in, you're going to feel like you're in New York, that we're family.
Yeah, and
That's
they
what
don't
it
just
is.
have pizza, guys. They have amazing salads. My wife just loved the salad that yesterday we
Yes.
picked up. Thank you, by the way. She loved that. Was it
The Caesar?
Caesar salad?
Caesar salad.
Yes. And then you also have, what are those things called? The
So
knots?
we have garlic knots.
Garlic knots.
We have calzones. We do have sandwiches, and we're gonna bring a whole new line of sandwiches as well.
Really?
We have a chicken parmesan right now. We're gonna bring a
Chicken parmesan.
Oh, yes.
My mouth is just getting
There it
watery.
is.
Chicken parmesan.
and our
guys.
meatball sandwich is amazing.
Meatballs.
A lot of cheese.
Italians love meatballs.
Yes.
Now, how about you don't do things like egg cream, so it's real
No,
authentic
no, sir.
New York stuff like that.
No.
Well, let me tell you the garlic bread. What is, again
The garlic knots.
Garlic knots, man, those with that marinara sauce. My son
It's a
came
killer.
home from school and we had some of those, and he's just dipping.
It's a
they
killer.
were so delicious. So again, it's not just pizza. I
Right.
know the name, Johnny Bronx Pizza, right? But I also love the fact that with your pizza, it's one of these, like when you watch the videos. And by the way, follow them on Instagram. I know we're on, I think, also on your Instagram right now.
Yes.
But you can see the videos, how much love and passion these workers put into it. Like when they're making it,
It is.
there's love there.
Do they
And
flip it up in the air and all that?
Absolutely.
stuff?
They do that.
They really do that.
You
stuff
can
like-
see that on the videos.
In New York, they sit and do that and throw it in the
I
air.
see them. Yeah,
They'll turtle in the air for you. They'll throw
Yeah.
it behind their back.
Yeah.
But they do a phenomenal job.
they're the
at it.
real deal.
And the thing is once again, it goes by the team, and you build that ambiance. It's the consistency. You go to my place, the
Yes.
pizza will always be consistent. That's what
Yes.
we harp on. Is consistency and customer service.
But not only that, I think more and more people today are really enjoying the experience.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's what, again, back to selling. Food's got to be good. Service has got to be great, right? That's important. But the experience of the fact that, hey, I'm literally right by the beach, and you can't beat the weather, guys. Come on, Corona Del Mar. I mean,
Yeah, it's
the
amazing.
mecca of Orange County.
Yes.
Let's be real, right?
Yes.
I mean, you're walking. It's like you're walking down Beverly Hills.
Absolutely.
On that PCH where you're at.
Yeah.
Beautiful area. I mean, it's a whole different world.
It's a car show.
Yes.
On the weekends.
Yes.
You can sit in my pizza place eating a slice and watching all these nice cars passing by.
Speaking of cars, you are involved in the car show. I mean,
Yes. I've had my fair share of cars, exotics, and I know all my
Don't do
buddies
the
that they're
do
watching.
coffee and cars or something?
Yeah, they
around
do
it?
cars and coffee.
Yeah.
we're talking
up in
pizza here,
Sacramento.
Paul. Come
I
on.
know, but there's a
Come on,
huge
Paul.
gathering of car nuts.
I think he's telling me the next business to
I know,
open.
right?
You
He's
want
wanting
some coffee?
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
He's an Irish man. He's thinking Irish.
Irish
coffee.
coffee.
That's what he's
A little
thinking.
bit, yeah.
Throw a little whiskey in there.
There it is.
So what's next for Izzy? I know we only got about 5 minutes. What's next other than the fact, I mean, I know you're a businessman,
Yes.
right? There's other businesses you're looking into, you're doing?
Yeah, so currently we have, it's IR Strategist. That's my coaching company. What
Mm-hmm.
we do is tax resolution, anything that has to do with business formation, tax issues, business plans. Also a little bit with the SBA, working with the SBA, a little bit with the government contracting side also. We consult. So right now that's what my other business is. But, for the near future, what we're looking is Johnny's number 2.
Okay.
Hopefully. We're looking at Huntington Beach if that's possible.
Nice.
Just, stay in the water, keep that rhythm
Same
going.
vibe, yeah,
Keep
right.
that vibe going.
Why not, right?
Why not? So,
If it ain't broken, why fix it?
That's right.
Right?
And and then just worked with external partners in whatever. There's multiple opportunities everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm always open.
Ish, I know you and I have been talking off the air. We might be looking to do a collaboration with our chamber. We're looking to do probably some sort of conference with Ish here and his group of business leaders. And
Yes.
a lot of these are heavy hitters, let's just say. And we're looking to probably put together like a conference where we can have a lot of you get involved and learn a lot of these great skills that may take you years to learn.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And it's I'm not going to say it's a shortcut to this, but if you hear other opportunities or other stuff that people are doing, it's not that they're going to tell you their secret. They're going to tell you what they're doing, but guess what? You'll grab something, you'll grab a niche, and you'll go with it. It's your network.
And it's about working smarter sometimes, not
Yes.
harder, right? I mean, we're all trying to make that extra dollar, right?
correct, absolutely.
And why not learn it from the guys that are driving the big sports cars, making the big money, owning
Eating
many,
pizza?
yes,
Eating pizza.
Eating pizza.
But you have to think of it as a commodity, right?
It is, yes.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I can imagine the billions of dollars that the pizza industry generates.
It's huge. There's markets where you look at and you do some research and
Mm-hmm.
some statistically, and they survive in any kind of, you can say, economic crisis.
Yeah.
And it can be Mexican food, Chinese food,
Mm-hmm.
and pizza. Pizza by far has always been consistent, and it has such a huge margin and volume. But who doesn't like pizza? I think everybody likes pizza.
Oh.
I can eat pizza every day.
He doesn't, as you can see.
Do you ever go back to the Bronx and say, "Hey, look at the kid from the Bronx. Look what the kid from the Bronx did here"?
I do actually. What made me get into the pizza, going fast forward, is that there used to be a pizza place in the Bronx called Eight's Pizza. It's right on 163rd in Winchester. And I used to go to elementary school with the daughter, and that was the safe haven of the Bronx.
See?
Everybody would go in that pizza place and would play the arcades. It didn't matter who you were.
What street you're from, or what I hate to say, what gangs and what neighborhood. And
No,
what street,
unfortunately,
all the stuff.
Why do we have to talk about gangs,
I'm
Paul?
just saying,
What's going
it's a
on?
little
we can't,
tough, yeah.
we can't talk about that rap sheet here. That's on another podcast.
But before we go, I do want to say, what do your parents think of all this?
I think
As a Hispanic Latino guy, that must be big, right?
I think every step that I have taken in my life, I've done it for myself and also to show them that all their hard work, it paid off. And absolutely, if my mom and dad are watching, I appreciate you, love you guys. And they tell me how successful every time. And they tell me all the time is keep going, síguele. That's the number one thing they tell me, and they're very proud. And when they come out here, they love the pizza too. So it feels good to have all these achievements.
Before we go, what is the secret sauce, not to the pizza, to the business life that you live? What is the secret sauce? Because I think I know what it is, and I can say it, but I want to see what is your, because let me tell you, this guy, if you follow his social media, every day he posts him working out hard in the gym every morning. I mean, he's consistent. This guy is consistent.
And I think you just said it. The answer,
Right?
is being consistent and
Right.
disciplined. So two things you need, and focus on one thing first. That once that one flourishes, it would always spill over to the next. And always, loyalty is big. Stay loyal. Just watch your back in today's world. There's always sharks, but you can survive if you learn it. And you'll have your falls. I have my falls too. As long as your fall wasn't worse than your last success, then you're doing good. So I think
secret
that's what it
sauce
is.
right there,
The
folks.
secret sauce is discipline, consistency, and just be yourself. Be a good person.
Yeah.
Don't look out for yourself. It would always come back to you.
Right?
Absolutely.
Good karma.
There it is.
I believe in it.
Yes, sir.
Well, Ish, I thank you so much for being on our show. I know we run out of time. It goes by fast, 30 minutes, but
It was amazing.
Is
definitely.
this where we break out the pizza?
He's ready.
Paul, the producer, wants
is ready.
pizza.
He's on it.
Listen, guys, we
He's
can't
the
bring it all
producer.
to you. You have to come down to Johnny's Bronx Pizza and Corona Del Mar on PCH. You're not going to be disappointed. Tell him Ish sent you down there. Tell him you saw him on our community podcast show for the
Yes.
chamber. Tell him that you learned everything about him here, because not only were you fed today good information and hopefully information that will help you in business, but also just in life in general, right?
Correct. Absolutely. I
that's-
think that's what it's about.
Yes.
It's not just only business. I think it's life. It's mental.
Mm-hmm.
It's your health. Then comes the rest. But mental and health, and then the rest comes, guys. I think that's me now. So I appreciate everything, John,
No, we appreciate
and
your
Paul too. I owe you pizza. I know.
A little pizza next time.
Listen, you never ever have to say thank you to us when, listen, you were a kid in New York and you saw what happened 9/11, and the fire burned in you that you signed up to serve our country, and you went and served our country for us.
Absolutely.
That says it all about who you are as a person, right? You served for us. You went and basically I guess you could say you stood up to the bully. That's the way I look at it.
Yes.
Right?
Fears and bullies. Yes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
now he's still serving pizza.
And I still serve. I serve pizza. I'm still serving the community one way or another.
Thank you all, guys. Please go support Johnny's Bronx Pizza because it's veteran owned and he served us. It is our job to serve him. And so again, thank you for tuning in. Follow Ish, of course, on his social media. I'm sure he's tagged here.
Yes.
And not only that, but follow Johnny's Bronx
John's
Pizza.
Bronx Pizza, yeah.
Yes, on Instagram, has lots of followers. And stay tuned. We're going to be looking to do more in the community and put together a really nice conference with all his big heavy hitters, leaders in the community, business people.
Yes.
And leave a comment if you want to get connected to Ish and, of course, everything he's got going on.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
on the show, brother.
Thank you as well. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
All right, guys,
Appreciate
there you
everybody.
have it.
Take
Have a
care.
good one. We'll see you all soon.
Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in each and every time to meet our community. Powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's, see, I'm hungry for pizza already here. I can't even talk. And Orange County's only community radio station, streaming live from our studio here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.